Welcome to the second episode of Wildcat Basketball Recap. I'm Davis Johnson alongside Tyler Haskins, making his on-camera debut for NNN Sports. Tyler, how are you doing today?
Really excited to be here, Davis. Thanks for having me.
So, on the second episode, what's in store for the viewers as we recap the last week in Wildcats men's and women's basketball?
Well, we've got the men's basketball team traveling to Penn State to take on the Nittany Lions, and the women's basketball team hosting the Indiana Hoosiers and then taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes on the road.
Well, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot of fun to me. So without further ado, let's get into the highlights. We have men's basketball taking on Penn State on the road. The Northwestern Wildcats were back on the road last Saturday to take on the 4-6 Penn State Nittany Lions. Northwestern still looking to snap a 6-game losing streak as they take on Penn State. And here, let's get started a little early. Chase Audige finds Pete Nance on the roll for a dunk. And here, good defense by Northwestern as Robbie Barron steals a pass, finds Chase Audige, ever the opportunist. Nice Euro step layup for Chase Audige. And here, John Riker, Penn State blows a dunk. But Penn State stays patient, and Seth Lundy finds himself open in the corner, buries the open triple for Penn State. It's an offensive battle early for both these teams. And here, nice defensive play by Ty Berry and Chase Audige again out in transition. The easy double clutch dunk. He's got a lot of athleticism, and he shows it every game. Nice little showmanship for Chase Audige. And here, Robbie Barron finds Boo Buie in transition. He splashed a deep three. Boo Buie had 18 points on the game for Northwestern. And here, Robbie Barron, errant pass, turns into an Isaiah Brockington fast break, and he puts Barron in an absolute body bag. A thunder slam for Isaiah Brockington, who led Penn State with 21 points. And here, Boo Buie improvising at the end of the shot clock. Ever the magician, Boo Buie hits a floater before the shot clock expires. But here, Jamari Wheeler would hit a dagger three for Penn State to put them up 6. Just finds himself open. Boo Buie not able to recover. He drains a triple. Penn State's all excited. They just snapped their 5-game losing streak last week against Rutgers. And then Chase Audige, desperation triple, no good, too strong. Penn State pulls out the victory at home. Northwestern falls to 6-9 on the year. After that tough loss on the road to Penn State, our very own Matthew Coronado sat down with John Riker, the Daily Northwestern, to discuss the men's team's recent struggles and how they can get back on track.
And now I'm joined by John Riker of the Daily Northwestern Men's Beat Basketball. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, Matthew. Thank you very much for having me on.
Sounds great. Let's get right into the questions, John. The first one I have for you is, this past week, the Northwestern men's basketball team lost to Penn State. What do you think was the biggest factor in that loss?
That was definitely a tough loss for Northwestern to swallow, 81-78, to a team that's pretty much in the same tier. You really have to win those games. Even though it's on the road, you have to win those games if you want to be competitive by the year's end. Northwestern did have some pretty good performances. He had Boo Buie, Ryan Young, a bunch of guys really up there in points, and they did score 78 points. It was really the defense. Coach Collins said after the game that the defense was really what did the Cats in. So even though they're shooting over 50% from the field, they're getting 78 points. They're getting 16 turnovers. It just wasn't enough to keep up. Going forward, it's something that the Cats just have to learn from. You don't get too many unranked teams on this Big Ten schedule. It's a really hard schedule, but the Cats have to just move on from it.
I couldn't agree more, John. I think the defense definitely let them down in that game. And speaking of that defense, on this losing streak that the Cats have been on, they've been giving up 82.7 points per game. What can the Cats do to help this defense and bring down that big number?
Yeah, there's just no easy fix for it. Coach Collins has switched zone man multiple different games, multiple times within the game. And it just seems like this isn't just one particular reason. They're 0-6 now when giving up over 80 points. That's pretty brutal. They were pretty close against Penn State. They were like at 78. But just going forward, something for the stats anyway, get them under 80 points. But more importantly, when it gets in those late game stretches, they want to stop the bleeding and stop those runs.
We'll have to see if they can do that in their upcoming games. Speaking of which, they play Rutgers this upcoming Sunday at 6:30. Who are going to be the guys who are going to have to stand out for the Wildcats in order to win that game?
Yeah, I think it's a Big Ten game. It's going to be a tough game. right now Northwestern is slightly favored, but this is no cakewalk. Rutgers was a team that very nearly made the NCAA tournament last year. Now, I would say Boo Buie is a huge guy on offense. He really popped off against Penn State, and he popped off against Michigan earlier this year. But some of the times when the offense is looking for answers and he's in a slump, as he had been a couple of the games during the losing streak, that's really devastating for this offense. So basically, if they can get Boo going, get the offense going in the games, they'll be in the running. They should definitely take Rutgers seriously. This isn't the Rutgers football team of a couple of past years, but Rutgers basketball is a team to be taken seriously. The Cats have what it takes to win. If Boo Buie steps up, this could definitely be a win to reverse the losing streak.
That game and a whole lot more is coming up for the Cats. Again, thank you to you, John Riker of the Daily Northwestern on the men's beat. It's been a great time talking with you. And next, we're going to be getting into the women's highlights.
Wildcats taking on the Indiana Hoosiers from Welsh Ryan Arena. Halfway through the first quarter here. Good defense by Veronica Burton. She comes up with a steal. She'll take it down court, feeding it to Lindsey Pulliam, who pulls up from mid-range. Bang! Knocks down the jumper. Later on in the second quarter here, great defense again from the Cats. As Burton comes up with another steal, she would finish with 4 on the night. Good ball movement here, as Lindsey Pulliam will take it and pull up again from mid-range, knocking down yet another jumper to put the Cats up by 5. On the ensuing Indiana possession, Jalen Penn will take it down the lane, hitting the layup and getting the and one. With forward Courtney Shaw out for Northwestern, Indiana dominated the paint throughout the game and really took advantage. Later in the second quarter, the Pulliam Water Park is open for business as she splashes it in from downtown to put the Cats up by 7. She would finish with 15 points on the night. In the third quarter, Indiana attacking the paint as Jalen Penn is found in the corner. She hits one from 3 to bring the Hoosiers within 7. Indiana creeping back in now. Here in the fourth quarter, Nicole Cardano-Hillary pulls up from deep, and she knocks it down to tie the game at 56. Late in the fourth quarter here, Mackenzie Holmes, she'll lay it in and get the and one. As Indiana goes up by 4, this will be the beginning of the end for the Cats, going on to lose 74-61.
The Cats are on the road against the Iowa Hawkeyes at Carver Hawkeye Arena. They'll get the ball to start the game, and look at this first bucket for Northwestern. Veronica Barton way behind the arc. The bank is open. Off the glass for 3 points. Jordan Hamilton commits the turnover to Gabby Marshall. She gets back on defense, and with the huge rejection, Dikembe Mutombo, a great defensive play from Hamilton. Monica Sinano, the leading scorer for Iowa, gets that one to go. She had 34 on the night. Caitlin Clark from way behind the arc. Bang! She gets that one to go. But Lindsey Pulliam from behind the arc, clutch money. There aren't many players like her in college women's basketball. The Cats are able to close this one out 87-80. They've won 5 out of their last 6, and they've got Ohio State on Monday.
So unfortunately for the men's team, they were unable to end their losing streak as they fell on the road to Penn State. But for Northwestern women's team, they were able to salvage their loss to Indiana by beating Iowa on the road and look to build a winning streak of their own. So Tyler, what do we have to look forward to next week for both teams?
Well, Davis, we got both teams returning home to Welsh Ryan Arena next week. We have the men's team taking on Rutgers on Sunday afternoon, see if they can snap their 7-game losing skid. And the women's team will take on Ohio State on Monday to see if they can build on their winning streak after their win at Iowa.
Sounds good to me. So for everybody watching, thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week on Wildcat Basketball Recap. Take care, everybody.